Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin with what many Canadians already recognize. The cost of living is climbing in this country. The price of everything from groceries to gasoline to housing is going up, and the inflation rate is now the highest it's been in nearly 2 decades. It hit 4.4% in September. That's the biggest yearly increase since 2003. In the last year, the price of food jumped 3.9%, housing costs rose 4.8%, and gas prices spiked nearly 33%. A number of factors.
Welcome to the Large Case Method, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about inflation. And inflation is one of the major stumbling blocks that we have as business owners to really achieving what we all want. And one of the reasons that we started our business to create wealth. I want to kind of draw this out for you a little bit. So as business owners, what we really started our businesses to do is to create wealth. What are really the major stumbling blocks? We just saw one of those, and that is inflation. And that is really the core for us. How are we going to beat inflation over time with our businesses? And there are two things that make it a lot more difficult for us to do so. One is taxes. We pay very high tax rates here in Canada. Another one is low yields. Interest rates are at all-time lows. So trying to beat inflation, paying all this tax and having such low yields, how are we going to do that with our businesses? Let's have a quick look at what this means for us, more specifically in Canada. So we have our yield, and say our yield at the bank right now is 2% on the cash that we've got in our corporation. And then we're going to have to pay tax on that, and we have to pay 50% tax. So that leaves us with a 1% yield. And then we have an inflation rate. Oh, that's at least 4%. So when we look at the difference here, we're actually achieving 1% within our corporation, and we're paying out 4%. So that is negative 3% that we are making inside our corporation every year. Negative 3%. So essentially, what we have to deal with is this one right here and this one right here. So we can't do anything about this. There's nothing we can do about the inflation rate, but we can do something about our yield. This is an area that we've got some control, and we can do something about our taxes. So when we go back to our model, this is what we want to do. We want to beat inflation. How are we going to do it? And this is really the only way we're going to be able to do this. We are going to have to reduce taxes. And we are going to have to find a way to increase yields. So essentially that's it. We've got to figure out a way to reduce tax and increase yields for us ever to be able to deal with the fact that we've got this negative 3% rate every year that's reducing the amount of worth of the money in our business. We'll talk to you again soon, and thanks for your time.